Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about topic the introduction to C programming language. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in programming and you want to learn about it. So let's start, friend. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well so that my videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Friend, C is a programming language which is basically a procedural programming language, and this language was created by Dennis Ritchie at Bell Labs in the early 1970s. At that time, it was become the most widely used programming language, and many other languages are also getting influence from this language, and it becomes the foundation for operating system like Unix. Nowadays, many programmers prefer to write code in C language because its syntax is very easy, it's very easy to understand. So let's start. We shall discuss in more about the aspects of the C programming language. First is the syntax of the C language. Friend, the C language syntax is very simple and easily to understand, and it's a procedural programming paradigm. Now, what does that mean by procedural? Procedural means that the C language is based on procedures and functions. So that means whenever we are coding, we basically define functions which perform some specific task in the program. So when we define functions, so it will easy to understand the concept of writing the code, and also it will helpful in testing and debugging as well. So that is why it is called as procedural programming language. Now the data types include in the C language. First one is the integer data type, that is called as int. Int are the whole numbers. For example 23 is a integer data type, 45 is the whole number, an integer data type. Then float is basically a floating point type for real number. Now when we talk about floating number, basically we are talking about point based number. For example 23.20, so this is a float. Then double is the double precision floating point type, so basically it's the double of the float, or you can say more extension of the float data type. Then char is the character data type for storing individual characters. For example ABC, XYZ, so this is an example of char. Then void represents when the absence of the type actually. So when there is no we can say there is no specific data type we can define, then we call it as a void. Variables are used to store data in a program. They must be declared with a data type before they can be used. Variable name must start with a letter and can include letters, numbers, and underscores. For example, you can say score. Score can be a variable. Similarly, we can say the result. Then result is another variable. So you can define the variable which can store the values, and they can have different data types as per your requirement. Control flow are basically structures defined in the C language. First one is the if then else statement. If else statement means it is the conditional execution. Conditional execution means that if that condition true, then execute that code. If that is not true, then else execute that code. Similarly, another is the switch statement. Switch is also the similar type of multi-way branching. It is also some sort of a if then else statement. However, this is basically a switch statement. If that condition true, then execute that one. If that true, then execute that one. Then we have loops. For loop, okay, this is a loop, while loop, and do while loop. So all these three, for, while, do, while loops, all these three are the iterative execution when we have to execute something in a loop at some point of time. So these are the example of loops. Then functions. Programs in C are organized into function, that is called a procedural language. A function is a self-contained block of code that performs specific tasks. Functions can have parameters and return values. For example, you can say you can make a function of a sum which takes two input as an integer values and return the result. Okay, so this could be an example of a function, sum function. Pointers. Pointer is basically a powerful feature of C. They store memory address and are often used for dynamic memory allocation and manipulation. Basically, friend, you can think of a pointer as a index in a dictionary. Whenever you want to search something in a dictionary, you can, if you have an index of a book or index in a, so you can easily find it. So that is basically the concept of a pointer in the C language. Then we have array. Array is basically a collection of element of the same type. For example, you want to store a result of 45 students in a array. So what you can do, you can make an array of 45 elements in the C language. And remember, friend, array indexing starts at the 0. So you can, whenever you want to store values, you can use array concept. However, arrays are sequential and always of the same type. Structures and unions. C allows the creation of user-defined data types using structures and unions. Structure group variables of different types under single name. Union allow different variables to be stored in the same memory location. Then memory management. Friend, C provides manual memory management. That means there are two functions, malloc and the free. Malloc means you can use it for allocation, okay, and free means you can deallocate the memory. Okay, so this is the concept of memory management. Here you have to, as a developer, you have to be very careful while assigning and deallocating the memory, so that there should not be any issue of memory leak. Standard libraries. Friend, there are some standard libraries are available that include functions for input, output, string manipulation, memory allocation, and other common tasks. Example are stdio.h is the basically standard input output, and stdlib.h for memory allocation. So these two libraries are the standard libraries which are normally used in especially stdio.h is a very common language which always used in almost all function whenever you are making. Then preprocessor directive. Friend, hash, whenever we are using, starting with a hash to include files, define constants, and perform other tasks before compilation. Here remember that, friend, C language code is based on compiler required for the execution, for the processing of the code, which compiler is basically a basically software program which converts the C code into a byte code. Okay, so before compiling, before running the program, compiler always required to execute the C language code. Here, friend, this is a very simple program of hello world to illustrate the basic concepts of the C language. Here you see include stdio. This is the standard input output library, okay, which defines a main function. Main function basically is the entry of the C program. So from here, this is the entry program from where the program enters. This is the entry point. Then it uses printf hello world. So printf basically printing or displaying the message on the screen hello world. Okay, then the return 0 in the it will return the value 0 which indicates a successful program execution. Here it is a int return type, so it will always return integer values back. So friend, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching the video.